Finally, Mewtwo is here in Pokemon Go, and I am going to help you defeat it. This video will showcase all of Mewtwo's movesets and the best counters in Pokemon Go for each of those movesets. So you don't need to be that guy going into the Mewtwo Raid like, hey, what is this thing weak to, like electric or something? Nothing worse than being that guy at the raid that doesn't know that Moltres is weak to rock. Just use your golems, man, come on. First, let's go over Mewtwo's attacks. His two quick attacks are Confusion and Psycho Cut. Both of them are, of course, Psychic type, so Mewtwo will get stab on those. Psycho Cut is great when you're using Mewtwo to attack, but when Mewtwo has Psycho Cut defending, well, that's what you want to have, because it's so fast it's going to deal not a lot of damage. Confusion is the attack you hope Mewtwo does not have during your raid. You can tell the difference between those two attacks, because if it's doing more damage per chunk, he's got Confusion, and that is not what you're looking for. You want Psycho Cut, you want to be able to sit there for as long as possible, and if Mewtwo has Confusion, he will be slowly taking away your health. Well, he'll be doing it quicker than if he had Psycho Cut. Not slowly, quickly. Quickly. Mewtwo will quickly be taking away your health. Psycho Cut it slowly. Mewtwo has 4 charge attacks: Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, Hyper Beam, and Psychic. Now, on the surface, you would think Psychic is the best option that Mewtwo's gonna have, but you're wrong. Shadow Ball. It is a ghost type move, it is 100 power, it is a 2-bar attack. Generally, 100 power attacks are 1 bar, but since this is a 2-bar, Mewtwo can get this 100 power attack even faster. So Shadow Ball is the #1 attack you want to have on Mewtwo, and the #4 attack you want to go up against if you're trying to defeat Mewtwo. Hyper Beam is also great. It's a 150 power 1-bar move, so it'll do a lot of damage to almost anything. Focus Blast is great because Tyranitar exists, but Psychic is the one you would think is going to be the best move because of the stab, but it is not, actually, because when you're going up against a Mewtwo and you just stack the box with a bunch of Dark-type Pokemon, Psychic won't really do that much damage to you. So you want Mewtwo to have Psychic, which sounds counterintuitive, but it's not. Psychic is Mewtwo's worst attack, which sounds incorrect because it has Stab, but it's not. So if you're going up against a Mewtwo, look for it to have Psychic. That is the optimal moveset. So, the optimal moveset for going up against the Mewtwo is going to be Psycho Cut and Psychic. If that is the set of the Mewtwo you're going up against, you have the greatest chance for success. So, what are the best counters to Mewtwo? Well, in short, there are 2. Tyranitar and Mewtwo. Tyranitar has that Dark type, so it can resist Mewtwo's stabs. And if it decides to have Hyper Beam, well, you can resist that too. And it can hit back with super effective stab hits like Bite and Crunch. Now, Bite is a very quick attack. It is a very great attack for Psychic-type Pokemon, and Crunch deals significant damage without taking a long time to charge. Tyranitar is the #1. Tyranitar is the alpha, but sharing that alpha spot is another Mewtwo. So Shadow Ball, because it's a 2-bar 100 base attack, is arguably one of the best moves in the game. So, Shadow Ball deals super effective damage to Psychic-type Pokemon. Mewtwo just happens to be a Psychic-type Pokemon. So, when you are on offense, and you are going up against a Mewtwo, if you already have a Mewtwo, you're set, baby! Make sure that Mewtwo's got Shadow Ball, and you will start tearing through that brethren. Like, they're your brothers. Which might not be a visual you want to have, but here we are. Let's get into the next tier, kind of the B+, A- tier. Houndoom is great against Lugia, and it's great again against Mewtwo. So it's nice that a Pokemon like Houndoom doesn't get a lot of looks in actual competitive play. It's going to be doing a significant amount of damage to 2 of the top raid bosses in Pokemon Go. A Houndoom stacked with Dark-type attacks will be great for going up against Mewtwo. Lugia, also, if you had spent the last 3 weeks trying to get a Lugia and you didn't know what you're going to do with it, well, now you have the answer, because Focus Blast Mewtwo is going to lose almost every time to a Lugia. Because Lugia quad resists Focus Blast, if you see a Mewtwo with Focus Blast and you're like, oh shit, my Tyranitar is useless, now you got a Lugia in the back. Obviously, you don't want your Lugia to have Psychic-type moves if you're going up against a Psychic-type, so, a Sky Attack Lugia might be the answer against a Mewtwo. A Pokemon you might not think of is Snorlax. Now, an infographic came out a while ago that's saying Snorlax is terrible as a gym and raid attacker, but today, he has his day! With Lick, you'll be doing super effective quick damage against Mewtwo, and you are able to resist the Shadow Ball variant of Mewtwo. He can stay in there a long time, he can take hits, he can deal quick, super effective damage. Snorlax is a Pokemon you want to have if it has Lick against Mewtwo. Dual Bug type attack Scizor will also do very well since it resists Hyper Beam from Mewtwo. Obviously, Mewtwo is weak to bug. Scizor is the strongest bug type user in the game right now, and it gets stab on those, so you can deal quick, super effective stab damage to Mewtwo if you have a Scizor. And the final Pokemon on the list of B+, A- counters is probably more in the B+ range, but it is Dragonite. A Dragonite's going to show up a lot on like non-steel type raid bosses because it just does a high amount of damage. It can resist, technically immune to the Shadow Ball by Mewtwo, and it can hit back with high damage output moves like Outrage. Other counters that I won't get into too much are of course Bite, Gyarados. If you want a glass cannon, you can use something like a Gengar. Even Bug Attack Pinsir isn't that bad against Mewtwo, as long as, you know, Mewtwo has the right corresponding defensive moveset. Because now we're starting to get into the dredges when we're talking about Pinsir. So while it can do a significant damage on the offensive side, it won't be able to live a lot of hits that Mewtwo can have. So hopefully you learned something in this video. Hopefully this video helped you figure out what Pokemon you can use to best take on a Mewtwo, so you're not that guy at the raid that's holding the whole party down. Listen, level 19 guy, your Scyther's not going to cut it. So educate yourselves. Show up to raids prepared, show up to raids ready to go, show up to raids knowledgeable, and you soon will be able to have Mewtwo. And you'll also be able to speak in better English than I just did right there. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.